In this video, Dr. Brock will discuss different drugs that she likes to use for pre-visit pharmaceuticals in prepping her patients coming in for anesthesia. She has a variety of protocols to share with you, as well as the dosages that she likes to at least start with. If you are uncertain as to why you may want to use these pre-visit pharmaceuticals, please check out her video on the importance of PVPs. The two drugs I prefer to rely on for pre-veterinary medication at home is Gabapentin or Trazodone. Gabapentin, we're speaking about healthy young dogs now. My dose would be 20 milligrams per kilogram orally 2 hours before hospital admission. Trazodone would be anywhere from 5 to 10 milligrams per kilogram, again, 2 hours before visiting the hospital. And on occasion, I'll combine those two drugs together in the same patient at that dose. And that's because there are some patients that require more than just the one drug. There are alternatives to the gabapentin plus or minus trazodone protocol that I just mentioned. And there is a protocol in the literature called the CHILL protocol, which is a combination of gabapentin, melatonin, and acepromazine. You'll see quite a bit written about that. I don't have any objection to it. I'm not saying it's a bad protocol. I just find it ineffective in my hands. I need a protocol that is as much as possible consistently reliable every time, because patients that arrive at the hospital where they're not properly chemically restrained tend to slow down the nice and orderly progress of the day's events. And so my money is on trazodone and gabapentin. Now, that being said, sometimes for patients, as you know, trazodone and gabapentin in combination on the day of the procedure is not enough. And in that case, I give that dose the night before and again the morning of the procedure. The thing to remember is that our therapeutic goal at this point is a patient that arrives at the hospital calm, that allows us to perform an examination, and that allows us to administer intramuscular pre-medication without there being a fight. And so the patient does not need to be very subdued. As a matter of fact, you can usually tell during the physical examination at admission whether or not the drugs that you prescribed are doing what they need to do. The idea, as I said, is just to be able to pre-medicate intramuscularly without much fanfare. The more drugs we give orally to get to that point, the more sleepiness we're going to have at the end of a procedure. And that's why you want to get it just right so that the patient has a recovery that is not worrisome to the client. So that would be a patient that is unable to ambulate or even stand or walk. Those patients are problematic to discharge from the hospital, for one thing, but it also worries clients quite a bit. So, and also, we're not going to get it right every time. As a matter of fact, this is one of the most challenging aspects of anesthesia care is trying to look at your patient, gauge the level of anxiety that the patient has, try to figure out what's going on in their head, and then prescribe medication for them. So obviously, there will be some degree of trial and error. But eventually, especially for patients that are long-standing patients of yours, you'll figure it out and you'll know what it is that's required. Sometimes, if you have a client who's willing, you can do a test dose prior to a procedure. So you pick a dose, pick a drug protocol, ask the client to give the medication at home and to drop in to see you 2 hours later. There's no planned procedure that day. You just ask the client to drop by, and you can make an assessment at that point as to whether or not you nailed it or whether or not you need to go back to the drawing board and tweak your protocol a little bit. Another drug option that is not really a drug, it's more of a nutraceutical, is a product called Zylkene, and it is easily accessible. It is a flavored milk powder, And you can add Zylkene to any other drug combination that you're using if you need to enhance the effects of the drugs, that there's no contraindication to combining. Now, sometimes strategically, recommending Zylkene to clients is helpful in that you'll encounter resistance on the part of clients to medicating patients at home. So if you tell them that this is not a drug, it's a nutraceutical, you may get more buy-in from the clients. I mentioned earlier that there are some challenges to incorporating this additional step into your anesthesia strategy. One of them is client compliance. It can be difficult to get clients to remember to do something, especially if you gave them instructions weeks prior to the scheduled appointment. It helps to have somebody at the hospital remind the client about the administration of the meds. I find text messaging very, very helpful in sending people reminders. And you can talk to clients about resistance that they have about medicating at home. The key concept to get across to the clients in order to get buy-in from them is that medicating the patients at home is going to make the anesthesia smoother and more predictable. I hesitate to use the word safer when I'm speaking to clients because I think that sends off alarm bells. I know that clients are already concerned about anesthesia risk, so I'm careful about the words that I use. I try to use terminology like the anesthesia will be more comfortable for the pet in order to get the client to understand that this is in the pet's best interest. I also mentioned earlier that it's difficult sometimes to get it right every time in terms of what drug combination and drug dosing is going to work effectively for the young, healthy dogs that are coming in to see you. So you need to let yourself off the hook a little bit and try as much as possible to do test dosing before procedure day. You'll get it right. And last but not least, the $64,000 question is the medication doing what you need it to do? And I picked a picture of a greyhound on purpose because greyhounds are amazingly introverted, and you can't look at them and know whether or not the medication that you prescribed at home is doing what you want it to do. So a couple of practice tips here. One is to pay very close attention to body temperature and heart rate. If either of or both of those is elevated, then suspect that the drugs have not been completely effective. You may still be able to give your intramuscular pre-medication, but what you'll kind of be sensitive to is when the patient is actually induced and intubated, you may find that you have a little bit of difficulty getting the patient to settle in to the general anesthesia, and you could be as long as 30 minutes getting things to settle. But you'll know ahead of time if they're tachycardic or hyperthermic, despite the fact that you've given a prescribed medication at home, that they're still quite ramped up. They just may not be showing it externally. And you know, forewarned is forearmed as far as just knowing what to expect when they're asleep.
I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.